Take a slow breath in. Gently breathe out. Before we explore the meaning of faith, allow yourself to settle into this moment. You don't need to rush through these words. This is not a lesson to pass or a task to complete. It is simply a quiet space to reflect, learn, and rest your thoughts. Difficult times have a way of changing how we see the world. They can interrupt routines, shake confidence, and bring questions we never expected to face. In those moments, even simple things can feel heavy. Thoughts may feel louder. Emotions may feel closer to the surface. The future may feel uncertain. It is during these times that many people begin to think more deeply about faith. But faith is often misunderstood. Some imagine it as constant certainty, never doubting, never feeling afraid. Others think faith means pretending everything is fine when it clearly is not. Still others believe faith is only for people who feel strong and confident. In reality, faith during difficult times looks very different. Faith does not erase struggle. Faith does not deny pain. Faith does not silence every question. Instead, faith becomes a quiet way of holding on to hope when circumstances feel unstable. To understand faith in difficult seasons, it helps to first understand what faith is at its core. Faith is trust, not blind trust, and not forced belief. Faith is a gentle confidence that even when we do not understand everything, we are not alone in what we face. It is the decision to believe that meaning, care, and guidance still exist, even when we cannot clearly see them. During calm seasons, faith may feel natural and easy, but during difficult seasons, faith becomes something deeper. It becomes less about feelings and more about steady, quiet trust. Think of faith like an anchor does not stop storms from coming. It does not calm the wind or remove the waves. What it does is hold a ship steady so it is not carried away. Faith works in a similar way. It does not prevent hardship, but it keeps the heart from drifting into complete hopelessness. Difficult times often create uncertainty, and uncertainty can make the mind work overtime, trying to predict outcomes, solve problems, and prepare for every possibility. This constant mental effort can lead to exhaustion. Faith offers rest to the mind by gently saying, "You do not have to control everything right now. You can take one step at a time. You are supported, even when the path is unclear." This does not mean we stop caring or trying. It means we stop believing that everything depends entirely on our own strength. Another important part of faith during difficult times is perspective. When challenges are close, they can feel overwhelming. It can seem like the struggle is the whole story. Faith slowly widens the view. It reminds us that today is one chapter, not the entire book. It reminds us that difficult seasons, while painful, are often temporary and part of a larger journey of growth and change. This perspective does not minimize pain. Instead, it gives pain a place within a bigger picture. That bigger picture makes room for hope. Faith also changes how we respond to fear. Fear is a natural human response. When something feels uncertain or threatening, the body and mind become alert. We think faster, react more quickly, and prepare for problems. This response is meant to protect us, but when fear lasts too long, it becomes draining. Faith does not scold fear. It gently stands beside it and says, "You are not alone in this. There is support beyond what you can see. You can breathe, even here." In this way, faith helps fear soften instead of take over. During difficult times, faith may also look like patience. We often want answers immediately. We want clarity now. We want solutions quickly. But life does not always move at the pace we prefer. Faith teaches us to live in the space between questions and answers. It teaches us that waiting does not mean being abandoned. Waiting can be a season where quiet strength grows. Faith during hardship is often quieter than we expect. It may look like getting out of bed when you would rather hide. It may look like taking one small step forward when the path feels long. It may look like choosing not to give up, even when you feel tired. These small, steady actions are signs of living faith. Faith also creates room for honesty. Contrary to popular belief, faith does not require pretending everything is fine. It allows us to admit when we feel afraid, uncertain, or overwhelmed. It invites us to bring those feelings into a space of trust instead of hiding them in isolation. When we believe that God is present even in difficulty, we no longer have to carry our struggles alone. We can acknowledge our limits without shame. We can ask for help without feeling weak. Faith reminds us that needing support is part of being human. Another important aspect of faith during difficult times is resilience is the ability to keep going, even when things are hard. Faith strengthens resilience by reminding us that our worth is not defined by our circumstances. Challenges may change our situation, but they do not erase our value or our purpose. Faith helps us remember that difficult moments do not define our entire identity. We are more than our struggles. We are still capable of growth, learning, and meaningful connection, even when life feels uncertain. Faith also encourages compassion, both toward others and toward ourselves. When we understand that everyone faces difficult seasons, our hearts soften. We become more patient with others who are struggling. We also learn to treat ourselves with more gentleness. Instead of harsh self-criticism, faith invites understanding and care. Difficult times can make us feel isolated, but faith reminds us that shared human experience connects us. We are not the only ones who have walked through uncertainty. Many have faced storms and found strength they did not know they had. Faith during hardship is not about having all the answers. It is about being willing to walk forward without seeing the entire path. It is about trusting that light still exists, even when the sky looks cloudy. Over time, faith in difficult seasons can deepen in ways that comfort us later. When we look back, we may see that the strength we discovered, the patience we learned, and the compassion we gained were shaped in those very moments we once wished away. This does not mean we should want hardship. It means that even in hardship, growth is possible. If you are walking through a difficult time right now, faith may feel small. It may feel like a quiet whisper instead of a strong voice. That is okay. Faith does not have to feel powerful to be real. Even a small, steady trust can carry you further than you expect. Faith means believing that your story is not over. Faith means trusting that support is present, even when unseen. Faith means allowing hope to exist beside uncertainty. And sometimes, faith simply means taking a slow breath and choosing not to give up today. Take another slow breath in, and gently breathe out. As we continue reflecting on faith during difficult times, it can help to explore how faith connects with emotional healing. Difficult seasons often leave emotional marks. Worry, disappointment, grief, and exhaustion can build quietly over time. Even when life begins to settle, the heart may still feel tender. Faith does not demand that emotional pain disappear quickly. Instead, faith creates a safe space where healing can unfold at a natural pace. Healing is rarely sudden. More often, it happens in small, almost unnoticeable ways. Slightly calmer thought. A moment of unexpected peace. A quiet realization that you are stronger than you believed. Faith supports these small steps by reminding you that healing is not something you must rush. When people feel overwhelmed, they often judge themselves for not moving on faster. Faith encourages patience with the healing process. It teaches that growth is not measured by speed, but by steadiness. Faith says, you are allowed to take your time. You are allowed to rest when you are tired. You are allowed to heal at the pace your heart can manage. This gentleness is deeply important. Emotional wounds often deepen when we push ourselves too hard. Faith offers permission to be human, to need time, to need support, to need quiet. Another way faith supports emotional healing is through meaning. Difficult experiences can feel senseless. We may ask, why is this happening? Or, what is the purpose of this pain? Faith does not always give clear answers, but it does suggest that our experiences can shape us in ways we cannot yet see. Over time, many people discover that difficult seasons teach empathy, patience, and resilience. They may develop deeper compassion for others who struggle. They may become more aware of what truly matters. Faith helps hold the possibility that even painful experiences can contribute to growth. This does not make pain easy, but it allows pain to exist without feeling entirely meaningless. Faith also helps people release guilt about feeling sad or uncertain. Sometimes people think faith means always feeling positive. But true faith allows space for honest emotions. Feeling discouraged does not mean you lack faith. Feeling tired does not mean you are failing spiritually. Faith and honest emotion can exist together. You can trust God and still feel grief. You can believe in hope and still feel afraid. You can have faith and still have questions. This balance is important. When emotions are allowed instead of suppressed, healing becomes possible. Faith supports this honesty by reminding us that we are accepted as we are, not only when we feel strong. During difficult times, faith also becomes connected with patience is not simply waiting. It is waiting with trust. It is allowing time to move forward without demanding immediate clarity. Difficult seasons often stretch our sense of time. Days may feel long. Progress may feel slow. Faith gently teaches that not all growth is visible right away. Think of roots growing beneath the soil. We do not see them forming, yet they are strengthening the plant above. In the same way, faith can be growing quietly inside you, even when nothing seems to be changing on the surface. Patience during hardship is not passive. It is an active trust that even unseen processes matter. Faith and patience together create stability. They allow you to take one step at a time without needing to see the entire path. This reduces the pressure to solve everything at once. It gives your mind permission to rest between steps. Faith also grows through reflection. When we pause to look back on earlier challenges, we may notice that we were supported in ways we did not recognize at the time. We may remember moments when help appeared unexpectedly, or when strength rose within us just when we thought we could not continue. These reflections strengthen faith. They remind us that we have been carried before, and we can be carried again. Difficult times often change how we define strength. At first, we may think strength means never feeling weak. But over time, faith reveals a different understanding. Strength can mean continuing gently. Strength can mean asking for help. Strength can mean choosing hope when giving up would be easier. This quieter strength is often more sustainable than the kind built on constant pressure. Faith also deepens our awareness of connection. Hardship can make people feel isolated, but faith reminds us that we are part of a larger story. Others have walked similar paths. Others have faced uncertainty and found light again. This shared human experience creates a sense of belonging. Knowing we are not alone in our struggles can be deeply healing. Faith invites us to see ourselves not only as individuals facing problems, but as people supported within a wider circle of care, from loved ones, from community, and from a presence greater than ourselves. As faith grows during difficult times, it often becomes quieter and steadier. Early in life, faith may feel emotional or dramatic. Later, after walking through challenges, faith becomes more grounded. It becomes less about feelings and more about trust that remains even when emotions shift. This kind of faith is resilient. It does not depend on everything going well. It stays present in uncertainty, like a calm center in the middle of changing circumstances. If you are in a difficult season now, your faith may feel small or fragile. That does not mean it is weak. Small faith, held consistently, can grow into deep trust over time. You do not need dramatic confidence. A simple willingness to keep going is enough. You may not see the full picture yet. You may still feel unsure about what comes next. But faith allows you to rest in the idea that your story is still unfolding. Healing is happening, even if slowly. Growth is taking place, even if quietly. Support is present, even if unseen. Faith during difficult times is not about escaping reality. It is about walking through reality with a gentle awareness that you are not alone and that hope still has a place in your life. Take another slow breath in, and gently breathe out. You are allowed to heal. You are allowed to be patient with yourself. You are allowed to trust that this season, too, is part of a larger journey. Take a slow, steady breath in, and gently breathe out. As we continue, let this be a space where learning and rest come together. There is no need to hurry. These reflections are not meant to overwhelm your mind, but to gently open it to deeper understanding. One of the most challenging parts of difficult times is uncertainty. Not knowing how things will turn out can feel heavier than the situation itself. The human mind naturally wants clarity. It wants to know what is coming, how long things will last, and whether everything will be okay. When answers do not come quickly, the mind may try to fill the silence with worry. It may imagine worst-case scenarios or replay the same thoughts again and again, hoping to find a solution through repetition. Faith offers a different response to uncertainty. Faith does not always provide immediate answers, but it provides a steady presence in the absence of answers. It shifts the focus from trying to predict the future to trusting that you will not face the future alone. This shift can bring a surprising kind of peace. Peace, in this sense, is not the absence of questions. It is the ability to live with questions without being controlled by them. Faith allows uncertainty to exist without turning into constant fear. Instead of saying, "I must know everything now," faith gently says, "I can take one step today. I can trust that guidance will come when needed. I'm supported even in the unknown." This does not mean we stop planning or thinking responsibly. It means we stop demanding certainty before we allow ourselves to breathe. Faith during uncertainty becomes a quiet stabilizer. It keeps the heart steady when circumstances feel unpredictable. Another way faith brings peace is by reshaping perspective over time. Difficult experiences often narrow our focus. We may see only what is going wrong or what feels painful. Faith slowly widens that view. It reminds us that life includes more than this moment. It encourages us to remember past times when challenges were faced and overcome. This broader perspective can soften the intensity of the present moment. When you look back on earlier difficulties, you may notice that you survived things you once thought you could not. You may remember that strength appeared when needed, even if you did not feel strong at the time. Faith connects those memories to the present. It reminds you that just as support existed then, it can exist now. Over time, faith teaches the heart not to panic when circumstances change. It creates an inner steadiness that remains even when the outside world feels unstable. This steadiness is not loud or dramatic. It is quiet and grounded. It feels like a deep breath when everything else feels rushed. It feels like a pause before reacting. It feels like the ability to sit with uncertainty without immediately trying to escape it. Faith also changes how we understand control. During difficult times, it is natural to want to regain control. We may try to plan every detail, anticipate every outcome, or fix every problem quickly. While responsibility is important, constant control can be exhausting. Faith teaches a balance between effort and surrender. It encourages us to do what we can, while also accepting that not everything is within our power. This acceptance does not mean giving up. It means recognizing limits without losing hope. When we release the need to control everything, space opens for rest. The mind does not have to stay in constant alertness. The heart does not have to carry every possible outcome alone. This balance between action and trust is one of the quiet gifts of faith. Also deepens inner peace by changing how we see ourselves during hardship. Difficult seasons can bring self-doubt. We may question our abilities, our decisions, our worth. Faith reminds us that our value does not depend on how smoothly life is going. You are not less worthy because you are struggling. You are not behind because you are healing. You are not failing because you feel tired. Faith speaks gently into these doubts, offering reassurance instead of criticism. It encourages self-compassion. It allows you to see yourself as a person growing through challenges, not defined by them. This shift in self-understanding is deeply calming. Faith also strengthens the ability to remain present. When worry about the future or regret about the past becomes overwhelming, the present moment can feel distant. Faith draws attention back to now. It reminds us that this moment is where life is actually happening. In the present moment, there is often more stability than we realize. Even in difficult seasons, there may be small signs of goodness, a kind word, a quiet moment, a small step forward. Faith helps the heart notice these things without denying the bigger challenges. This practice of gentle awareness builds lasting inner peace. Over time, faith during difficult times becomes less about dramatic breakthroughs and more about steady presence. It becomes a quiet foundation beneath daily life. You may not always feel it strongly, but it supports you just the same. Like deep roots beneath a tree, faith strengthens stability even when storms pass overhead. If you are in a season of uncertainty now, you may not yet see how this time will shape you. But faith allows you to trust that growth is still possible. It allows you to believe that peace can exist even while questions remain. You do not need perfect confidence to have faith. You only need a willingness to keep trusting, one day at a time. Take another slow breath in, and gently breathe out. Even here, in uncertainty, peace can grow. Even here, in difficulty, strength can deepen. Even here, in unanswered questions, faith can quietly hold you steady. Take a slow breath in, and gently breathe out. We come to this final part of our reflection. We turn toward hope, not a loud or dramatic hope, but a quiet, steady one that grows over time. Difficult times can make the future feel uncertain or even intimidating. When we are tired or discouraged, it can be hard to imagine brighter days ahead. Faith, however, carries a gentle belief that the future is not empty of meaning. Faith does not promise that everything will unfold easily or exactly as we wish. Instead, it holds on to the idea that our lives are still guided, still unfolding, and still filled with possibility, even when we cannot yet see how. This kind of hope is not built on perfect circumstances. It is built on trust that we are not walking alone. Hope shaped by faith allows us to look forward without pretending that the present is painless. It allows us to say, "This is hard, but it is not the end of my story. There is more ahead, even if I cannot see it yet." Can move forward one step at a time. In this way, faith becomes a quiet companion into the future. Faith also begins to shape daily living during difficult times. When faith deepens, small choices take on new meaning. Simple acts, getting out of bed, completing a task, speaking kindly, resting when needed, become expressions of quiet trust. Life may still feel uncertain, but faith encourages steady movement instead of paralysis. It teaches us to focus on what can be done today, rather than becoming overwhelmed by everything that might happen tomorrow. This daily steadiness builds resilience. Does not mean never feeling discouraged. It means continuing gently despite discouragement. Faith strengthens this ability by reminding us that our efforts, however small, are meaningful. Faith also changes how we relate to others during difficult times. Hardship often opens the heart to deeper empathy. When we have experienced struggle ourselves, we become more sensitive to the struggles of others. Faith encourages compassion, not only as a moral value, but as a natural response to shared human vulnerability. This compassion creates connection, and connection is one of the most powerful sources of strength during hard seasons. Faith reminds us that we do not have to face life in isolation. It encourages reaching out, offering kindness, and receiving support. These small acts of care, both given and received, become part of how faith works through daily life. Another lasting gift of faith during difficult times is perspective on identity. When challenges dominate our attention, we may begin to see ourselves only through the lens of struggle. We may think, "I am someone who is failing," or "I am someone who cannot handle this." Faith gently interrupts these thoughts. It reminds us that we are more than our current circumstances. You are still capable. You are still growing. You are still worthy of care and hope. This reminder helps prevent hardship from defining the whole of who we are. It allows identity to remain grounded in deeper truths, that we are valued, guided, and not alone. Over time, faith during difficulty matures into lasting inner strength. This strength is not loud or showy. It is quiet, patient, and steady. It does not rely on constant success or visible progress. Instead, it rests in a deep trust that life has meaning beyond what we can immediately understand. People who walk through hardship with faith often discover that their understanding of strength changes. They may become less driven by fear and more guided by trust. They may react less quickly in panic and more slowly with thoughtfulness. They may learn to rest without guilt and act without constant pressure. This transformation happens gradually, like light increasing at dawn. At first, it is barely noticeable. Over time, it becomes clear that something inside has shifted. Faith does not remove all difficulty, but it changes how we carry it. When we trust that we are supported by a presence greater than ourselves, we do not have to hold every burden alone. When we believe that our lives have purpose beyond immediate pain, we can endure with more patience. When we know that hope still exists, we can take another step even when the path feels long. As we close this reflection, consider what faith might look like for you right now. It might be a quiet decision not to give up. It might be a willingness to ask for help. It might be a gentle choice to rest instead of pushing harder. It might be a small hope you carry, even if you are not sure how things will turn out. Faith does not have to be large to be real. Even a small, steady trust can guide you through more than you imagine. Take one more slow breath in, and gently breathe out. You are allowed to move forward at a gentle pace. You are allowed to trust even with unanswered questions. You are allowed to hope, even in difficult times. And step by step, breath by breath, that quiet faith can carry you through.